Come and dream with me.
Hello and welcome to What Do You Want to Watch, the Explosion Network's premier media podcast. Every week, we get together, talk about movies, TV, and online content, and help answer the question, is it really true that Vin Diesel is working to write and star in a Rock'em Sock'em Robots movie? Yes, it is. I'm your host, Ash Obley. Joining me today, Don Blight.
Hello, happy to be here talking about a depressing week in news.
Rock'em Sock'em Robots, Dylan.
No, that's the least of my worries.
Fun bit. Vin Diesel, you do crazy shit. All right, let's just dive in. On this week's episode, we'll be talking about what's in the Watch history. We're going over some massive film and TV news, giving some thumbs to trailers, and giving you this week's top three. Kicking things off, Dylan, you went to the cinema and saw the new release of I would say the big new release of the week, Eternity.
Eternity is... we talked about the trailer on here at some point. Basically, the pitch for this movie is that it takes place in they do names. It's basically the in-between. Like, you die, and then you're in this place before you traverse onto where you're going to spend your eternity. And we have Miles Teller, who his character. So the movie starts with them as old people, these two, and then they die, and they explain they're everyone reverts to their happiest age. So there's kids running around because some people were happiest when they were like 12 or whatever. So that's how they explain the age thing. But Miles Teller, his character, he dies first, and he gets there, and he's waits for a little while, and then Elizabeth Olsen turns up, his wife. However, the character played by Callum Turner, he's been waiting there for 60 odd years because he actually died in a war. I can't remember what war, because they make sure it's a joke of the movie that it wasn't one of the big ones.
I think it's Korea.
I
think I've seen the clip.
Yeah, it's like Miles Teller's character is constantly like, it wasn't even one of the main wars.
It's not like you're storming Normandy or something.
Yeah, something like that. So, which is one of the better jokes, I think, in the movie. I think I didn't like it, I'll say. Like, I think this is... I didn't like it at all, really, to be completely honest. I found it... I found it... Like, I remember liking the trailer, and I went in thinking I would like it and stuff like that, but I think the more I sat with the movie, like, sitting there watching it, I was just like... I sort of just began to hate it. Just the whole concept of it, like, everything, just the longer it continued, especially once you get to... after even 45 minutes of witnessing these two men argue over which one gets to be with this woman the most in the afterlife. After a while, I just started being like, sitting there going,
"Girl, you need to go out on your own."
Yeah. Like, I sort of like, I was sort of like, it just filled me with doubt as I was watching the movie that it'll do something that isn't just going to be boring as the outcome. And without spoilers, it attempts to do something, but I don't think it does it well, and then just sort of left me filled with nothingness, because I think the movie thinks it's smart or saying something about relationships and how I'm trying to think of how to say it without spoilers, but I guess, like, sometimes, if you live a life with someone, there's going to be or if you have a shorter relationship with someone, you'll probably have a lot more happier memories than if you live a very long life. You'll have lots of bad memories alongside the good stuff, but that's part of the journey. But I mean, that seemed to be the core message to me, but I didn't appreciate the journey along the way. I think the actors are fine or whatever. There's some funny jokes in it or whatever, but it really is. It did feel, and it felt long. It dragged for me, and I think once I was about 45 minutes in, and I was sick of hearing these characters argue over who gets to take Elizabeth Olsen for eternity. At that point, I was over it. Like, I was sort of sick of the shtick, and that's the shtick. Like, that's the whole movie. It's just these two dudes arguing over who loves this woman the most. But it's sort of like a very old school romance in that way. But it's like, they're like, we're not doing, like, it's new age because they're dead already, so it doesn't count. I don't. I didn't like it. I thought it was yeah. I was looking for the light at the end of the tunnel, which was when the credits started rolling. That's what I was looking for.
Harsh, but I don't think you're alone in that feeling. Eternity in cinemas right now. I finally got the opportunity to check out Now You See Me, Now You Don't. This is the third entry in the Now You See Me series, which follows a bunch of magicians working for a secret society known as the Eye, and dishing out justice, I guess, with magic by exposing criminals to the world, to their lives, and generally stealing all their money and giving it to the poor is like the MO leading into this movie. It takes 10 years after the events of the last film, which I guess is because that's how long it's been since the last movie. But we start off with a new crop of illusionists played by Dominic Thesser, Ariana Greenblatt, and Justice Smith, who as part of their act use deep fakes of the Horsemen to help them trick this cryptocurrency person into losing all their money, which catches the eye of the actual Horseman, specifically Daniel Atlas, played by Jesse Eisenberg, who enlists them on a new mission that he's gotten from the Eye to steal the Heart, which is like a really big diamond owned by a South African, diamond miner who, I guess, her problem is she uses her diamonds is using her diamonds to launder money. Is the concept behind why she's a bad person. And her also Nazi. There's a history of Nazism, so it's like,
Of course.
how do we make sure they're the bad guys? Nazism, but that doesn't work all the time anymore. So yeah, then somehow all the other Horsemen get reunited as part of this mission. So then they have to escape. After she tracks them down, and there's back and forth, and there's all this magic stuff. It's a lot of fun. I think if you enjoy the series, if you enjoyed the previous two films, you're really going to enjoy this one. I think all the new casts are really fun and add a fun dynamic. There is a little bit too much, but we're back together. Wink, wink. Remember, we were in these scenes together, and all the, maybe a little bit playing too much into nostalgia, which is weird because seeing as you've only got two movies.
I was about to say, Isla Fisher was only gone for one, right?
Yeah, she was in the second one because she was given having a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. I think there's some fun twists. There's some cool reveals. Who plays the bad guy? Rosamund Pike does a really great, or really fun to listen to South African accent. Sometimes you just want to hear South African accents. They talk and they don't change the tone of their voice. They just speak completely one tone, monotone.
You're prawn, bro.
Prawn, bro. But yeah, I had a good time. It seems like they definitely are wanting to do more of these movies, which I'm on board with. And it was a surprise hit. These last few months when a lot of movies have not been performing particularly well at the box office. Definitely worth checking out, and a good time in the cinema. Dylan, you got to see Influencers, a film that's about to hit Shudder this week, the sequel to Influencer.
Yes, I really enjoyed Influencer. As much as I remember, I would have talked about it on here, but
yeah,
I remember
you talked about it here.
I remember just thinking sort of judging the movies by its title, and I wasn't expecting much from it, but I really, really enjoyed it. So this movie picks up, I guess, not too far after the events of the first one. So the first one basically ends with, I'm spoiling the first one, but the first one ends where basically this character, the lead main character, who's also the bad guy, CW, she leaves this girl on this island, this influencer chick. She sort of traps her there. She hates influencers, is basically so she sort of traps her there on this island. Anyway, at the end of the movie, she goes back there, and the Dover girl, who's really meant to be the heroine, because obviously Dover girl's the bad guy, she trapped her there. She escapes on a boat, and the movie sort of ends with CW being stuck on this island. So then this movie starts, and CW's off the island. We see her; she's got a girlfriend. She's traveling. I can't remember what country we're in. Anyway, Europe somewhere. And she's traveling around. So it's like, oh, she got off the island. We'll come back to that. The movie does eventually play around, but not actually explain how she got off the island, but does it in a sort of fun way. And the movie starts with her on this sort of romantic getaway with her girlfriend, and the movie does a really good job at building up this character who was not one note in the first one, like definitely was layered. CW as a character was layered enough that, and that's part of the reason that movie was really quite good. As this, anti-hero, I don't know. Anti-hero if you don't like influencers, I guess. But she on this journey, and then they meet this other girl at this hotel they're staying at, and when they go there to check into their booking, and CW's like booked this very like nice room for them. It's supposed to be this romantic getaway or whatever, and the hotel like, oh sorry, we had to give that room to this other girl because she's got a partnership with our big company because she's like an influencer and she does hotel reviews and whatever else. So she gets shitty then, but then they're sitting out there sunbaking in front of the pool after that, and the girl comes out and she's on the phone and she's complaining about it being a shit hotel and all this sort of stuff. Let's just say it sort of escalates from there, and it's eventually the girl Diane, who so Cassandra Norwood plays CW, and she's really really fantastic. I wish she was in more stuff. Like I remember looking her up after the first movie because she was such a presence in that, of combination of two things, which is that she is just like such a strong-willed like force in that movie. But then she also has, I'm not saying this in a negative way, but she has like a big like birthmark sort of like on her face, like obviously stands out. So I remember like looking her up and being like, what's her history? But she's like she is a model, and like she's done a few acting gigs now, but I think she's fantastic in both these movies, so I'd love to see her more. And then Lisa Delamar plays Diane, so she's the returning person. They also deal with the fallout from the first movie, which is that she's got off the island, she's escaped the island, she gets back to whatever country they were in the first one, and finds these, there's all these other dead bodies that happened in the first movie, and the police are like, oh, what did that? And she's like, oh, there's a girl on the island who did it, police go there, can't find her. So then there's this like, she's dealing with this public perception thing where she was an influencer in the first movie, but now she doesn't want to go on the phone or internet, like she's completely dived off all of it because of what's happened to her life, where people think that she's actually the one who did all these things, and this character she made up that did it all, who was CW, she's not a real person. But then she picks up the scent of what CW might be up to, and she ends up going on the hunt for her in this movie. Yeah, really, really good. Also, it just has a crazy ending, and I love it has this like, I mean, it's a shocking ending as it is, but it does one of my, like, I love when movies just do like let the camera play out sort of as the credits roll, like this crazy shit's happening and the camera just sort of does a thing where it like sort of starts floating up in the sky and follows, I'm not gonna say which character because it spoils things, but it sort of follows the character from overhead, like doing stuff that's crazy while the credits sort of begin to play, which I loved as well. Potential for a third one, I think, to wrap up the events of these two movies, and I really really enjoyed them. I would say, yeah, don't be like me and judge a Shudder titled influences and assume it'll be trash, but yeah, well, I highly would. I think this is better than the first one because you can tell that the Curtis David Harder, who's the writer director, I think he's getting a lot better each movie, because he also made one I talked about a few years back on here called Spiral, not the Chris Rock one, and that was like, again, like it was another movie where I remember being like, oh, there's so much potential here. Just like, it was sort of a 6 out of 10 that could have been better, and I just feel like every time he does a new movie, it just like gets better and better at the character stuff within them. And this one's definitely more like, whereas the first one was more of I guess a proper slasher, this one's like a cat and mouse thriller more than a horror movie. So that's a lot of fun as well. But yeah, would recommend.
You got to catch up on a film from earlier this year, Opus, starring Ayo Edebiri.
Yeah, this is a weird movie. So the pitch for this, which is, it's sort of funny because it's a trailer we're talking about later in the show. I was like, sort of, I don't know, it's thematically similar. I don't know. But the pitch for this is basically that Ayo Edebiri works at some newspaper magazine, whatever, who cares? And in this world, the biggest musician of all time, I guess it would be, I don't know, it's like the equivalent of Michael Jackson still being alive and coming out of retirement or some shit. I don't know. Elvis, whatever, someone huge, which is the character played by John Malkovich, which I do think there's something very funny about casting John Malkovich to be the sexiest superstar to ever live sort of thing. And he hasn't put out an album forever. He's sort of gone into hiding. I don't know. Oh, actually, you know what? It's sort of his character reminds me of Jared Leto because he runs a cult, of course. They. So he comes out, he's like announces a whole album. He invites a bunch of press people along for it, which includes Aya Berry from Her, which she didn't expect because she's only like a newer, lower level writer at this wherever she works. But she gets named and invited for some reason that becomes relevant later in the movie. But Murray Bartlett is the lead journalist at the same newspaper, so there's two going from this one place. Also Murray Bartlett, and this is good, but he's good in everything. And then a bunch of other people and journalists and whatever influencers and stuff, including a character played by Juliette Lewis and other people. Yeah, so they go there, and this movie is a weird combination of scenes of characters talking, having weird conversations about things once they get there, especially between John Malkovich and the followers of his whatever's going on. And then they'll do a scene where it's like John Malkovich's character does a whole singing and dance. And they do that several times. So it's really the movie's a musical in part because you get several full-on song and dance sequences, and then it's broken up by stuff, and then it just has a crazy ending. Ultimately, it's just a very fame is bad.
Shocker.
I mean, yeah, I thought it was sort of fun, but I can see how it's an odd movie. It's a think piece, but it's also just a weird movie. Like just the way it's structured and put together. It's not they're not worried about mass marketing this one. That's for sure. Yeah.
All right. Let's move into the mandatory Netflix segment of the show. And we've both watched the big documentary series that dropped this week, Sean Combs: A Reckoning, which has been getting a bit of a lot of people watching.
To stop it. He's trying to pull it off straight away.
Yes, did he? Sean Combs and his company did send Netflix a cease and desist letter, which I guess they figuratively said "fuck you" to by releasing it. And it is now being streamed by a bunch of people. So obviously, it documents a lot of the allegations made against Diddy during his career. I can't remember what the name of the documentary was, but we both watched a Diddy documentary earlier this year that kind of went over some of this stuff. And I was a bit concerned at the start of the movie start of the series, that it was just going to do almost beat for beat the exact same kind of stuff. But thankfully, it did kind of flesh out a little bit more from there. But yes, it definitely goes through, probably even deeper than that it did, a lot of his career, and then kind of highlights his connections to a lot of prominent music figures during the time, and implies quite heavily that he was involved in the death of both Tupac Shakur and Biggie. Biggie, yeah. I think I just stuttered. Tupac Shakur.
Yeah.
As well as
B.I.G.
Notorious B.I.G. Then getting into obviously his torrid relationship with the artist Cassie.
Christopher Wallace.
What crazy stuff. All through to, I think probably there's a bunch of crazy stuff in this, but I think the most fascinating stuff that they've included in this is, one, they somehow got footage that Diddy was filming or having filmed in the days leading up to his arrest, which how they were able to legally obtain this is a fuck up on Diddy's camp's side of nuclear levels.
Yeah. There's an interview I already saw this week between the director, I can't remember.
Alexandra something
or other, yeah. Her and 50 Cent doing these interviews, obviously because 50 Cent's the
Alexandra Stapleton.
There you go. Someone asked about the footage. It's like, do you reckon Diddy knows that you have this? And 50 Cent goes, well, he does now.
Absolutely. And it's like so crazy, like the level of spin that he's trying to work through a bunch of the footage. Another key thing that they've got is they actually got jurors to appear in this documentary, who were part of the campaign, which, in my opinion, was a mistake on those jurors' part, because I think they've turned themselves into massive villains. And then also, I think another key thing is we all in the lead up to this documentary series, we've talked about 50 Cent and his history with Diddy and his general disdain for Diddy.
He's always hated Diddy. Yeah.
He's always hated Diddy, didn't like him, has trolled him on the internet, all that kind of stuff. He is not seen at any point during this documentary, which I think is because he sees that this is like his ultimate. He doesn't need to say anything because all the facts about Diddy speak for themselves.
You can't make a documentary also where you're like calling out. You have lots of people calling out how Diddy's be up in the music video, and then like put himself in the documentary
and like sort of shit talking him the entire time. Yeah, I think
it's not about.
I think it definitely takes away from the idea that this is purely a hit piece.
Yeah,
if it was really a hit piece, he would be talking shit the entire documentary.
I and to that point, the reason I think this is generally a quite a good documentary, and sets out to do something which is quite clearly, it's not a hit piece, but quite clearly goes that, the filmmaker's view is Diddy's a villain, and I think they wholeheartedly succeed in making their case as to why he's a villain. And I think they never stray from him as the main character. And if they do, it's only briefly to give some context to someone around him. Yeah, to how these people relate to him. But like I think a really good example of that is when the I'm trying to remember what he calls it, the freak off parties, right? I remember the other documentary spent some time going about the other people that attended it and tried to like make it into a bigger like, what about these people? Like, are they doing bad things too? Like point. Whereas this is very much like when it mentions those parties, it just goes, it's like they're just like
don't happen.
We're just talking about Diddy. We're not trying to like
we don't have time to point the finger at anybody else. We don't want to go introducing the idea of whataboutism about other celebrities
everyone else that
involved.
happened to go to those parties.
Yes, this is purely about Diddy.
Yeah.
Yes. So, I found it very fascinating, and I think just the litany of, I think it's the last two episodes that are like definitely go in very hard on the terrible things that he has done and have victims admit on camera that they've been abused and attacked and stuff like that by Diddy. Whether it's the I don't know, Little Rod, I think is the producer who worked on his last album, never got paid, and believes he's been drugged and sexually assaulted by Diddy at points because his house is filled with cameras. And apparently Diddy took a bunch of pages out of Bill Cosby's book and was just drugging everybody.
I think structurally wise, I guess it's like first episode, the origins of a monster. Second episode, the East versus West war, and then third and fourth is the more like current sort of stuff. It's like episode 3 is a lot about episode 3 is more about like his abusive side, and then episode 4 like comes into the current day. The most recent events, I guess. The one I sent Buddy a couple seconds from it because there was the part when I was finishing off today and I'm watching it and they start that I can't remember that particular girl's name, but she starts talking about Kid Cudi. I was like, oh, what? Like fucking Cudi about to be up here in baby oil as well? Like, what are we doing?
No,
and then like 10 seconds later, it's like she's saying it's like, yeah, Diddy knocked on my door and was like, you know what I'm talking about, fucking Cudi. That's it. We're gonna go kill him. I'm like, whoa, fucking shit escalated. Like,
yeah, absolutely. I think a whole bunch of terrible stories. I'm trying to find the review that I saw. I think somebody's like, this. There's just such a depressing bunch of onslaught of like stories, of terrible stories. It's like hard to sit through. It's like in my mind, I'm like, well, I'm sorry that Diddy is such a piece of shit that he's done all these terrible things that you have to hear about. So terrible that he did all these terrible things. But yes,
they do a good job too of like trying to explain why he potentially is the way he is, from his childhood to the people he hung around to also showing sort of behavioral things and then linking them back, when they're talking about like, oh, the first time Tupac got shot, they were there, and then they just walked out very casually and all that. And then the most recent shooting where the dude was like saying that, you say that he wasn't here when he got shot, sort of thing. And then he just happens to casually walk out, and they make sure they're like same behavior, same, like
there's a pattern.
There's a pattern, yeah. They try to link everything, yeah.
Try to talk about the jurors who why did they choose to be part of this? Because they were the most infuriating people I'd ever seen in a documentary.
There was
Just
that
their
one
rationale.
guy. The one guy was the most annoying. I can't remember.
Who says she went back to him.
Yeah, that one.
You can't
yes.
have it both ways.
Yeah, that one. Yes.
As if everybody in the world is unaware how domestic violence and these abusive relationships work, where these people have taught their victims that they're not going to be anything without them, and that even if they do terrible, terrible things to them, they need to come back because they're going to be the only ones who love them and that kind of stuff. Yeah, it just made me sick and was like, this is the reason that so many of these women continue to stay in these situations because nobody believes them, because maybe they stayed with that person too long and they can use that evidence against them and that kind of stuff. It's like, fucking hell. Just the state of people's opinions on women, and especially when it's so prevalent and so known. But I think the one thing missing from this documentary, especially seeing as they include the case and that kind of stuff so much, I would have been really interested if they had someone who worked on the prosecution during the case. You know what I mean? Like, explain why they didn't get the result that they wanted. Or couldn't get the result that they wanted, you know? I'm
sure that's a documentary down the line that can be focused on the thing.
I guess maybe they're still working on.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, like, they show it several times, and it's hard to watch even as many times as you may have seen it. But they show him kicking the shit out of Cassie, and like
the hotel footage,
the hotel footage. I just don't like. It's wild to me that guy can watch that footage in that and just be like, and just so.
Or that woman can be like, yeah, that seems. I know he beat the shit out of her, but it seems like a bit of a stretch that he would kidnap his assistant and then go try and kill Kid Cudi. Those things seems like completely that person could not possibly want to do that.
Or even that one guy who was like, oh. I think they show a couple of quick seconds of him being like, "Oh, but she loved participating in these freak ops and stuff too." It's like, but it's like, okay, but like
maybe
if
a couple of times,
consenting adults do want to hire that gigolo dude to do some weird sex stuff, that's not actually wrong. If that's all everyone's, you know what I mean? Like, we're talking about him beating her and shit. Like,
and then other times where he forced himself upon her and that kind of stuff, yeah. Like when she didn't want to be part of a freak off, you know? So, yeah. I think one of the last must-see documentaries of the year. So, definitely exciting to see a conversation about it and finally put the did he love to bed. Like, and the other fascinating thing, like kind of again, like touching on the coverage of the case and like how they kind of were manipulating all the influencers who were kind of like covering it and like using like social media to try and, you know.
Well, I think that's
the other thing. Like they didn't sequester away the jury, which is such a fucked up weird thing to not do.
Well, these days I don't know how you can. Yeah, it's so hard for these big cases like that. I think the other thing that gets me is that he hires that guy to start filming the footage, and they make sure to include a scene early in episode 1 of Diddy sitting there saying about like, oh, the case isn't, pretty much saying to his lawyer, the case isn't going to be fought by the jurors. The case is going to be fought by what's out there on social media now. And he turned out to be right, but it's also sort of fitting then that the footage that he was trying to, I suppose, get this dude to record to plead his case because he thought he had more time or whatever his original plan was.
I don't know what his intent was behind this footage.
I assume he was trying to make his own project to like because you can twist.
I'm innocent.
I'm sure you could grab the same footage and twist it to be the case of a sad man, a sad man trapped on the run by police watching him across the road. Like I'm sure you could, but yeah.
I do want to know how they got the footage.
It is very funny. I would love to know who went to who first, like how it happened, like yeah.
Oh,
the questions be like, did you sign a contract for this? And the dude's like, nah, man, I just was recording.
No, yeah. I could totally. In my mind, he didn't pay the videographer. The videographer's like, fuck you. I'm going to go to somebody who will pay for it.
After watching 4 episodes of this, that would make total sense. Yep.
Yeah.
And it would be funny. It would be so fitting if that's literally the
reason behind it all.
Yeah. Because he didn't pay it.
Yeah. Because it's a piece of shit. Do you know? Not that we're biased in any sort of way. But yeah, I don't know how you can watch this and not come out thinking Diddy
I mean,
is
I've always been
done
biased
all
on
the
Diddy.
things that he accused of.
Yeah. I remember when I was in high school and I first started like listening to hip hop a lot. I very much fell down I was on the fuck P Diddy train very quickly. So my whole life, every time something's happened to him, I'm like, that's right.
Actually, one of my favorite scenes is
You did kill Tupac, you piece of
the
shit.
guy who wrote the song for Godzilla. He's like, he was so shit, he could not sing that song.
He does such a good impression too, or whatever. He goes,
yeah, and just, even all the business side stuff and very fascinating documentary, so check that out on Netflix. All right, that's everything in our watch history. Let's move into film news, and there's only one massive story that we desperately need to talk about this week. Obviously, there has been an ongoing discussion or talk that Warner Brothers was going to be sold. And it seems like we finally know who it is probably going to be sold to. Reading from the Hollywood Reporter, Netflix, run by co-CEOs Ted Sarandos and Greg Peters, have agreed to buy Warner Brothers in a mega deal valued at $8.27 billion. Under an effort nicknamed Project Noble, the streaming giant's leadership secured $59 billion in financing from a consortium of banks to assemble the deal. Netflix says the buy would give users more choice and let it optimize its plans. It will also expand its studio operations while creating better value for talent and shareholders with $2 billion to $3 billion in annual cost savings. The deal proposal had a breakup fee of $5.8 billion, meaning that if the acquisition is scuttled anyway, Netflix still has to pay Warner Brothers Discovery those billions. The companies revealed the acquisition early Friday, altering the course of the entertainment business. Netflix said that it expects to maintain the current operations of Warner Brothers, including theatrical releases for films. Though specifics aside from top-line deal numbers remain scarce, and that may be the focus of opposition to the acquisition as the dust settles on the announcement. Netflix also made its pitch to filmmakers and creatives, writing that by uniting Netflix's member experience and global reach with Warner Brothers' renowned franchises and extensive library, the company will create greater value for talent, offering more opportunities to work with the beloved intellectual property, tell new stories, and connect with a wider audience than ever before. WBD shareholders will receive $23.25 in cash and $4.50 in shares of Netflix common stock for each share of WBD Warner Brothers Discovery stock, with the linear businesses including CNN, TNT, HGTV, and Discovery Plus still set to be spun out. That move is now expected in the third quarter of 2026. Dylan, obviously early days, but what is your first gut impression of Netflix acquiring Warner Brothers?
I hate it. I don't have a good feeling about it at all. I mean, look, it is just a terrible monopolization that shouldn't happen. Like from the outset, it's just from that regard, it shouldn't happen. But then I was reading the story today where I can't remember, what's the Netflix CEO dude, where apparently he went to Trump a month ago and had a very long meeting, which now is being reported by many places as to have been like him pretty much going to Trump and being like, if I go to do this, will I get any kickback from the White House? And I mean, considering they've now made the move, presumably Trump said, no, like, I'll make sure it goes through something, which it's
not really what he said when asked.
I mean, he can say what he wants, but
he said, I'm going to have a look at that because, it gives them a big share of the market and that kind of stuff. And in the lead up to this, I mean, it's actually surprising that Netflix won the bidding for this because apparently Skydance, Paramount, made a massive bid, and from all understanding, Donald Trump was pushing for Warner Brothers to sell to the Ellison family, who we know is more than happy to pull their pants down and kiss Donald Trump's ass, based on what they've done over at with CBS and them just accepting the allegations against 60 Minutes and all that kind of stuff that we've discussed earlier this year. So yeah.
This I took some screenshots this morning because I was like, well, because I knew it was recording. Movie Magic page on Instagram had a list of all the IPs that they now own. So just quickly, to add to Netflix's reign, Friends, Oceans, Gremlins, Evil Dead, Mad Max, The Matrix, Beetlejuice, DC Comics, Adult Swim, Tom and Jerry, The Jetsons, Casablanca, Harry Potter, Citizen Kane, The Goonies, Scooby-Doo, Rick and Morty, Johnny Bravo. Oh, first
technically The Matrix isn't
Well, it
I
isn't
mean, they
IP.
they'll have it part as their library, but they wouldn't be able to continue making
No,
Matrix
no,
movies.
but they've got Looney Tunes, The Hangover, The Conjuring, The Sopranos, Robot Chicken, Mortal Kombat, HBO Max, Smiling Friends, The Flintstones, The Boondocks, Adventure Time, Sex and the City, Final Destination, Cartoon Network, Singing in the Rain, The Powerpuff Girls, The Clockwork Orange, The Big Bang Theory, and the Minecraft film rights, as well as Courage, Cowardly Dog, TCM, Turner Classic Movies, Wizard of Oz, Dune 3, only distribution rights, I say, Lord of the Rings, film rights, every TT Games made Lego game, Monsterverse, and Warner Brothers games.
Did you even mention DC Comics?
Yes, I think somewhere in there. Yes, I did DC Comics, yes. Which I know, I don't know if he's going to bring it up later, but the stories say that James Gunn's still apparently going to have control. But I mean, I want to be a fly on the wall for this Christopher Nolan meeting. Is what I want to be. That's what I want to be.
Yeah, so apparently a bunch of DGA directors are planning to meet with Ted Sarandos about the acquisition.
Yeah. Because there's two parts. The first part is I'm like monopolization. We've discussed many times over the years because it's happened a few times in our in the time we've been doing Explosion Network. So the answer is always it's terrible. Because
I mean, everybody kind of loves it at the moment because they're like, yes, everything is under the same umbrella. Everything now, my Xbox can make this game and that game, and all that kind of stuff. But in the wake of it, it never kind of pans out great for consumers.
Yeah, I think the other main reason is because it's good for them as a product. It helps them make a better product, right? But if you want to view filmmaking as an art form, and that's why I thought I was flicking through Instagram Reels last night, and I had one come up of David Lynch talking about how if you set out to make who obviously I get so much David Lynch on my feed. What a man, miss him. They get so much. He's like, if you set out to make filmmaking a career, it's not a career. It's pretty much. He was like, it's not a career because that implies it's it's something you do to make money. And he's like, you should never set out to make films to make money. And that, but I mean, obviously, he was a very he's a. The reason a lot of big film fans love David Lynch is because he's a centerpiece for a man who was not worried about making films for money. He's like, I make films for art's sake and do it that way. But when people talk about all these things, the bringing all the IPs together and all these it's cheaper thing, you're just constantly talking about it as a product, it's a thing. It's like Netflix is a thing, and they don't have to pay more for the thing, and then they'll make more. They'll make shittier. They'll make more things from the IPs I like, but it'll just be a conveyor belt turned out version of those IP things to get content into your thing that Netflix will make sure is written terribly, so you watch it while folding your laundry instead of making something that's art for the big screen. And we're already having to have, we talked about last week, even with Ryan Johnson having to fight still to get Glass Onion back on the big screen because Netflix originally pulled that. So my trust in Netflix for supporting big screen cinema is naught. I know they still put some movies on the screens, but it's literally only so they can get some Oscar nominations because they put them in for the bare minimum so they can get some Oscar noms. It's not from a place of I think they care. They don't care. They want the noms.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to know how to feel because part of me is like, this may have possibly been the best option out of a bad lot. I mean, the best option would Warner Brothers stays completely independent and doesn't merge with anybody, but I would have been disappointed to see the money hungry Ellisons get their hands on and the way that they have already we want to Sonicify everything. We want 4 quadrant movies, take that attitude to the Warner Brothers library. I don't think that would have been great. In my mind, if this all pans out the way I would like it to, they still stay two very independent companies. And Netflix, the library probably is shared amongst the 2 streaming services. I would be very surprised if they shut down HBO Max. I think they'll keep them both as quite separate libraries and separate offerings. And hopefully they just let Warner Brothers do its thing. Especially given the success they've had this year in the cinema, where they've gone 6 for 6 on films being successful and making a ton of money, and Netflix uses that the infrastructure that Warner Brothers has to easily bring their movies that just make sense to bring to the cinema, like something like Narnia that they've already committed to bringing to the cinema. You know what I mean?
I mean, you won't see the short-term effects on Warner Brothers movies hitting cinemas is not going to be there. It's the long-term effects, because anything short-term, and by short-term I mean a couple of years, over the next few years, anything that's already like signed deals like is going through, right? So it's we have to look like 5-6 years from now to truly see the results. But I don't think they would keep HBO Max, because that solely for the people who are going to like this news, the average Joe Schmo on the street who read this and they're going to go.
Dylan,
and
I don't know.
They're not
Did you get an email from Netflix?
Yeah, they said, "Welcome to the family," or whatever.
Yes, we're
welcome
buying
to the
Warner Brothers, you know.
We're
So
buying
yes,
Warner Brothers. We're so
kind of
excited.
implying that.
It's a kind, yeah. So those people who are just reading that email,
Maybe
that's how they found out
add
about
a premium to get HBO Max on Netflix.
Something like that. They would be like, why am I paying for 2 subscriptions? If you brought them, why am I paying for 2 things?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, there's still a while to go, because obviously, like we said, it needs to get through a bunch of regulators and that kind of stuff. The WGA has already come out, the Writers Guild of America, and said they want this deal blocked because it's too much of a market share between the two companies. I don't know. If Disney could buy 20th Century Fox, I feel like it's possible that this deal could get through as well.
Yeah, I assume it will go through, because we've seen big things.
We have not seen them not put a deal through.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, the Xbox buying or Microsoft buying Activision Blizzard was probably the biggest acquisition,
and it took like what, a year and a half, 2 years.
A year and a half. But also, again, they've got to go through regulators all over the world again. Maybe we see much in the way that Microsoft was forced to commit to Call of Duty coming to all platforms. Maybe they have to commit to releasing movies in cinemas. You know? Force their hand. Every movie needs to be in the cinemas for 45 days before it comes to Netflix. We can all hope. I mean, there's also the possibility that it all falls apart. Yeah, I think there is definitely the possibility, unless there is some sort of monetary benefit to the current administration.
It doesn't go through. I don't think you make the move unless you're like 99% sure it's going to go through. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess with a $5.8 billion guarantee. Yeah, you know, certain figures change their mind on a whim, you know? So, yeah, I mean, it raises a whole bunch of other questions. Obviously, one that I've seen, at least in our community, is the future of AEW, because obviously that is a Warner Brothers property, I guess. Technically, that would stay with the TNT channel and then go to the spin-off entity network.
AEW and WWE both on Netflix.
I've seen people joke about that being a possibility, that they're both run by the same company, and then, you know, force them to have a crossover. But yeah, they'll probably, I think AEW is going to be safe. It's going to be part of this separate Discovery company that it will be spun off in the future. Probably cable channels like Cartoon Network and what was the other one? Cartoon Network and Adult Swim, probably on the chopping block, you would think, under Netflix. Even though they've obviously a provider of a whole bunch of new IPs, that would be some place that is probably going to get cost cutting. Yeah, I mean, the future of HBO Max, who knows? Will we see the library, the classics library? Like,
well, it's something like people always kept complaining about Friends leaving Netflix and stuff. So everyone's just going to want that back straight away.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be like tomorrow. They'll make deals as soon as possible. They'll make deals for all the big sitcoms, like feel good sitcoms, to appear back on Netflix, you would assume. But yeah, I mean, will a bunch of what happens to the library of older films that Warner Brothers has? Will they still become available or available anywhere? Will they just be locked in the vault? Obviously, they talked about DC Comics, how this move might actually be good for DC Comics, and that it kind of gives them, like, it could see them like further integrate the DC Comics, like actual digital comics library, I guess, possibly in a Netflix, making that a thing.
when Amazon brought Comixology, digital comics died.
It's a fair point.
Yep.
I mean, Marvel hasn't gotten super strong under Disney, so but that's a possibility, especially with Netflix being like kind of digital device first. You know what I mean? Like more people probably watch Netflix on phones and tablets and that kind of stuff than they watch on TVs. I guess a lot of obviously the major concern is the theatrical window of Warner Brothers stuff, but you would expect, like you said, whatever deals are done will be put through first. Warner Brothers games, kind of an interesting one. I mean, other than the Mortal Kombat IP, I don't really think they would care much about that. But they have like put effort into a games division, Netflix, but not at the scale that Warner Brothers games.
It even advertises it on. It was only recent for me. I don't know. It just depends what happens, what TV and stuff you have. But like even on the normal version now, like it says about the games on the TV app. But for a long time, it only ever popped up and said about the Netflix games if you were looking on the actual Netflix app on your phone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, it's gut reactions, early days. Everybody's having very quick things to say. But I suspect this will be a story that we're following for the next 12 months to 2 to 3 years, probably.
Get him, Nolan.
What if Nolan comes in and says, "You better fuck it"? Keep cinemas open.
You know, talking about Nolan, I know what show it was or whatever, but I saw a clip last night of it was like on a phone or whatever to some podcast like Call In or whatever, and they asked him the question of like, "What's your remote drop movie?" Which like the question basically, if you're flicking through TV, like what movies will make you like stop and
watch it
right now? And the first movie he said was like whatever, a normal answer that makes sense for him, and then the second movie he said was Talladega Nights. And the person was like, wait, hold on. Christopher Nolan's you're telling me, Christopher Nolan, that you're a fan of Ricky Bobby Talladega Nights. And he goes silent for a couple seconds, and then all you hear Nolan say is, if you're not first, you're last. Good. The man has a variety of taste.
Impeccable taste.
He is impeccable taste. Apparently he loves Fast and Furious movies too.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, that's a crazy.
Let him make the fast one. It's the only way it's going to get made. All right. Anything else you want to talk about with the merger or acquisition?
No, it's terrible.
Then you hope it
we get a
dies.
Supergirl trailer tonight or tomorrow. So
tomorrow. I mean, yeah, there's so many things down the pipeline that
there's just stuff happening still. The ball keeps rolling for now.
The ball keeps rolling. Obviously, it's about to be the start of award season. Talking about the ball rolling. Obviously, the Critics' Choice Awards just dropped a bunch of nominations.
I think I saw on Instagram for 100 days to the Oscars or something.
That doesn't surprise me. There is a surprisingly massive awards community, like very niche, I guess, focused completely on the awards race. One of the races closer to home, the Actor Awards have released their nominees for this year. I thought we'll run through the nominations and Dylan will give his expert opinion as the opinion on all things Australian film and TV.
Get ready to say the words, bring her back 26 times. Not 26. I think it's like 15. But
yes. So, we're going to run through all the nominees. Dylan will give his predictions on who's going to win. Actor Award for Best Film.
Just to clarify, it's me because you don't watch anything Australian. I
could guess.
Okay.
But you've got a little bit more informed opinion. And also, I'm asking the question.
I'm asking the questions here, motherfucker.
Actor Award for Best Film. The nominees are Bring Her Back, Kangaroo, Lesbian Space Princess, The Correspondent, The Surfer, and The Travellers.
Yeah. So I think Bring Her Back will probably just win everything it's nominated for to be completely honest. But I've watched like half of those. I think I've got Lesbian Space Princess to watch. I think it's out to rent now. I added it to my Apple TV queue the other day. That was at MIF. I didn't get to watch it though. Well, I couldn't fit it.
Had a theater run
schedule. And then it had a small theater run, but that's I'm quite looking forward to watching that. Out of all those, I don't think there's any bad films there. From either, the ones I haven't watched, everyone I know people have said is good as well. So
yeah, Best Indie Film nominees are Carmen and Balud, Fwens, It Will Find You, Lesbian Space Princess, Magic Beach, and With or Without You.
I'm going to go with Fwens, which I also want to watch. And I'm only picking that because, well, I mean, Lesbian Space Princess could be the other front runner. But friends reviewed quite well that I saw. Well, at least people that I follow.
Best direction in a film. The nominees are Danny Philippou and Michael Philippou for Bring It Back, Katie Woods for Kangaroo, Emma Hobbs and Leela Vagaris for Lesbian Space Princess, Kriv Stenders for The Correspondent, and Bruce Beresford for The Travellers.
Yeah, Bring It Back.
Best lead actor in a film, Brian Brown for The Travellers, Ryan Cole for Kangaroo, Jai Courtney for Dangerous Animals, Guy Pearce for Inside, Richard Roxburgh for The Correspondent, and David Wenham for Spit.
I'm saying Jai Courtney for Dangerous Animals, which you didn't bring up, but I did watch last week.
I thought we discussed it earlier in the year.
No, I haven't watched it yet until this week. Never got to watch it. We did a ticket giveaway, but it never came to my cinema here, so I never got a chance to watch it until it came to.
I'll save it for next week, and we can talk about that.
But he is very good in that, and absolutely despicable villain. But Jai Courtney's having some fun with that role, and he has a dance scene in it that's quite memorable. So,
actor for best lead actress in a film: Alison Brie for Together, Emily Browning for One More Shot, Sally Hawkins for Bring It Back, Susie Porter for The Travellers, Daisy Ridley for We Bury the Dead, and Lily Whitley for Kangaroo.
Such a wild list when you're like Alison Brie and Daisy Ridley.
Yes, I had to double
Sally
check.
Hawkins.
And yes, apparently Together was a Australian co-production.
It's Australian. Yeah. I don't think they ever say in like it's set in Australia without saying it's set in Australia, because like it's very much like they live in like basically. The way I take it, I'm pretty sure it looked like they were living in like Sydney at the start of the movie, and then they moved to like rural New South Wales. At least that's how I took it. But, Sally Hawkins.
Best supporting actor in a film: Damon Herriman for Together, Cosmo Jarvis for Inside, Julian Maroon for The Correspondent, Julian McMahon for The Surfer, Rahel Roman for The Correspondent, and Jonah Wren Phillips for Bring Her Back.
Jonah Wren Phillips, because that
kids are creepy.
Needed. Well, that's one of the creepiest fucking kids, I'm telling you.
Best supporting actress in a film.
After we record, I need to tell you about the most fucked up scene in that movie, because you're never going to watch it. So I should just tell you, because it's fucked.
Sure. Marta Dusseldorp for With or Without You, Deborah Melman for Kangaroo, Brooke Satchwell for Kangaroo, Yale Stone for The Correspondent, Sally Ann Upton for Bring Her Back, and Sora Wong for Bring Her Back.
Sora Wong.
Kids taking all the awards. Best screenplay in a film. The nominees are Bring It Back, Inside, Lesbian Space Princess, The Correspondent, or Together.
Well, Together was stolen from other movies.
Yeah, so should be eligible at all.
People still bring that up, even though, like, they pretty much like came out and said like that was you registered that film, like we registered this like 3 years before. I don't know, fucking, but it's still
they had the receipts.
They had their receipts, yeah. Bring it back.
Best cinematography in film: Beast of War, Bring Her Back, The Correspondent, The Surfer, Went Up a Hill.
This is a harder one. I'm going to go The Correspondent.
Best costume design: Beast of War, Bring Her Back, Spit, The Correspondent, The Surfer.
That's also a hard one. I'm going to go Beast of War. Fucking,
genre getting some love.
Yeah.
Pointed, Primal didn't get nominated for anything. Visual effects. Is there a visual effects category?
There is, I think. Yeah.
Best editing: Beast of War, Bring It Back, The Correspondent, The Surfer, Together.
Together.
Best production design: Bring It Back, Lesbian Space Princess, The Correspondent, Together, Went Up the Hill.
Together.
Can I say it's interesting to consider best production design in a animated film? Because all the production design is literally designed, but also you don't have to actually build it. You just have to draw it.
But I mean, you still have to draw it, I guess.
Yeah, I guess it's just it's like, but comparing those two things, you know what I mean? Best original score: Bring It Back, Lesbian Space Princess, The Correspondent, The Surfer, Together.
So it's either between Bring It Back or Together, but it's by the same person. So Bring It Back.
It is interesting.
Yeah.
Best sounds: Bring It Back, The Correspondent, Spit, Together, Went Up That Hill.
Bring It Back for the fucking scene I'm going to tell you about.
And best casting: Bring It Back, Inside, Kangaroo, The Correspondent, The Surfer.
Definitely Bring It Back. I mean, if anything, that Bring It Back has the kids casting in that movie was really, really good. So.
Okay. Best drama series: Bay of Fires, Black Snow, Jack of Clubs, Mystery Road Origin, The Family Next Door, The Newsreader, The 12, Cape Rock Killer.
I feel like it's either between Newsreader or the 12, which is its third. I mean, the Newsreader is like season 3 or 4, and then the 12 is like season 3, I think. So Oh no, newsreader won last year, so let's go that.
Best miniseries: Apple Cider Vinegar, Invisible Boys, Mixtape, The Last Anniversary, The Narrow Road to the Deep North, The Survivors.
The Narrow Road to the Deep North.
Best narrative comedy series: Austin, Bump, Ghosts, Mother and Son, Strife, Top End Bob.
You've watched one of those shows.
I have.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Strife, which I haven't watched, but Asher Ketty's in it.
Best comedy entertainment program: Guy Montgomery's Guy Mod Spelling Bee,
Hell yeah.
Hard Quiz, Sam Pang Tonight, Spicks and Specs, Taskmaster Australia, The Weekly with Charlie Pickering.
It'll be Sam Pang tonight.
Wow. Okay.
I feel like that he started that show and it's had like a really like popular, solid first like run of it. So.
Best entertainment program: Dancing with the Stars, Eurovision Song Contest, 2025 Grand Final, I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, Australia, Lego Masters Australia, Grand Masters of the Galaxy, Portrait Artist of the Year, That Black Fella Show.
I'm gonna go Dancing with the Stars because everyone was obsessed with it this year because of the Irwin kid. What's his first name?
No, that's the American version.
Oh, see, that's how much I know.
Yeah.
So in that case, I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here because it has that Irwin kid in it.
Side tangent. Did you see a bunch of countries have dropped out of Eurovision next year?
No, have they?
Because Eurovision refused to kick Israel out.
I mean, fair.
Yeah, so they're not going to compete. So then Eurovision this week, they put out like a post like, thanks all these countries we're going to miss you for your participation the last however many years.
Such a weird post.
Yes, very weird. Best factual entertainment program: Alone Australia, Gogglebox Australia, Mustard Dogs, Collies and Kelpies, Take 5 with Zan Rowe, The Piano, The Secret DNA of Us.
Alone Australia. Good old Tassie.
Here we go. Best lifestyle program: Gardening Australia, Grand Designs Australia, Love It or List Australia, Restoration Australia, Selling Houses Australia, The Cook Up with Adam Liao Australia.
Gardening Australia because Costa.
Best reality program: Australian Idol, Australian Survivor, Australia vs. the World, Married at First Sight Australia, Master Chef Australia, The Amazing Race Australia, Celebrity Edition, or The Great Australian Bake Off.
I was trying to see if there was... Nope. Yep. Is there one without Australia in it? No? Okay. Let's go with Australian Survivor vs. the World.
Yeah, okay.
Even though it'll probably be... Actually, no. Why am I trying to be funny? It's MasterChef. Changing my life.
Best documentary or factual program: Endgame with Tony Armstrong, I Was Actually There, The Assembly, The Kimberley, The People vs. Robodebt. Who do you think you are?
Mark Cole Smith is in 2 of these pictures here. Do you see that? The Kimberley and Who Do You Think You Are? I'm going to go Endgame with Tony Armstrong.
What are we up to? Best children's program:
No.
Do not watch the show.
Okay.
Hard Quiz Kids, Play School Altogether, Space Nova.
I'm going to go Hard Quiz Kids because although Bluey's not here to be nominated this year, that season does include the great clip of Tom Gleason trolling that kid by saying that Bluey's a guy and then all the kids freaking the fuck out. And it was very funny. I don't like picking the...
Yeah, I don't like... It should be
like
standalone, only one person.
Yeah.
Or one entity, you know?
So if I take out those, I haven't watched the Claire Hooper one. So I'll go Auntie Donna. I don't think they'll win. Just because I don't know. Who knows? It would be very funny if they won, actually. What's that time, Ash? Love a bit of push for support. That's for the Auntie Donna fans. And a Torf.
Best lead actor in a drama series. Nominees are Mark Cole Smith for Mystery Road Origin, Jacob Elordi for The Narrow Road to the Deep North, Travis Fimmel for Black Snow Jacob Clubs, Sam Neill for The 12, Cape Rock Killer, Hunter Page Lockhart for Reckless, and Sam Reed for The Newsreader.
I'm going to go Jacob Elordi.
Only opportunity Australia has to watch. No, that's true. He'll be nominated for Frankenstein at the International Actor Awards. Guarantee it. Best comedy performer. Nominees are Hamish Blake, Melanie Bracewell, Aaron Chen, Tom Gleason, Luke McGregor, Guy Montgomery, Sam Pang, Julia Zamiro.
Give it the Mel. Come on, Mel.
Yeah. Actor for Best Acting in a Comedy. The nominees are Claudia Carbon for Bump, Asher Ketty for Strife, Ben Miller for Austin, Sally Phillips for Austin, Angus Sampson for Bump, Jenny Scott for Mother and Son, Miranda Tapsell for Top End Bob, Michael Theo for Bump. Austin.
Michael Theo.
Okay. Best Supporting Actress in a Drama Series. Essie Davis for Apple Cider Vinegar, Aisha D for Apple Cider Vinegar, Michelle Lim Davidson for The Newsreader, Robin Malcolm for Mystery Road Origin, Heather Mitchell for The Narrow Road to the Deep North, and Susie Porter for Apple Cider Vinegar.
Harder one. I'm going to go Aisha D.
Best Supporting Actor in Drama, Luke Carroll for Mystery Road Origin, Mark Cole-Smith for Apple Cider Vinegar, Daniel Henshaw for The Family Next Door, Daniel Henshaw for The Newsreader, Matt Nable for Apple Cider Vinegar, and Ashley Zuckerman for Apple Cider Vinegar.
Mark Cole-Smith.
All right. Let's switch over to a couple of other categories. Best Documentary, Ellis Park, Journey Home, David Gillespie. Not only Fred Dagg, but also John Clark. Songs Inside, Unbreakable, the Jelena Dokic story, and Urulu Country.
I'm gonna go not only Fred Dagg but also John Clark, which I do quite want to watch, and I hope it is good.
Last one I'll mention, unless there's something. Hang on, let me just check. Best online drama or comedy series. Nominees are Till You Make It, A Series of Unfortunate Dates, Longhead, Not Russian Anywhere, Rough and Ruby, The Worst Thing That Could Happen.
I'm gonna go The Worst Thing That Could Happen.
Have you heard of any of these before?
Yep, that one.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's why I locked it in so fast.
All right. That's everything in the news this week. Let's move into giving sometimes the trailers. Of course, you can find all the trailers we're about to talk about in the show notes below. Kicking things off, Shelter, directed by Rick Roman War, starring Jason Statham, Bodhi Ray Breathnack, Bill Nighy, Naomi Aki, and Daniel Mays. A former assassin is forced to kill his former organization to protect a girl who has been supplying him. To protect a girl who had been supplying him. Dylan, what do you think of the third in this trilogy of films that Jason Statham has made?
I don't. The one thing I missed is there any reason given as to why he needs to like get the little girl into protection?
Because they're going to kill her too because she's connected to him.
Is that what I'm supposed to take away from it?
That's my takeaway from it.
Okay. Yeah, double thumbs up. It's just it's a Jason Statham movie. It looks like a Jason Statham movie.
Literally.
Yep.
A Jason Statham.
Yep, it's its own genre at this point.
I mean, like literally, the Beekeeper, Working Man, now Shelter.
Mm-hmm.
They're almost the exact same movie.
Mm-hmm.
I'm waiting for some complaints, but they're not coming.
And yet I can't complain. Well, I will when I watch it. But for now, it's a trailer and double thumbs up.
Do you think it will be better or worse than the other two?
Well, I mean, what are you connecting them just because they're all Prime? No,
because they're all Jason Statham movies in which he plays a former secret operative who gets called back into doing stuff and ends up killing a bunch of people.
But the last two were by the same person.
Yeah, I guess.
So those
were both the Guy Ritchie movies. Now he's like slightly diverged by getting somebody.
They were Suicide Director dude.
David Ayer movies, sorry.
David Ayer movies, yeah. So, this is completely different. I don't know what we're talking about. We shouldn't be making fun of it.
Completely different.
It's completely different. Way different.
Don't know about that. Shelter is coming to Australian cinemas on the 5th of February. Next trailer is for People We Meet on Vacation, directed by Brett Haley, starring Emily Bader, Tom Blythe, Lucas Gage, Jamelia Jamil, Alan Ruck, and Molly Shannon. Free-spirited Poppy and routine-loving Alex have been unlikely best friends for a decade, living in different cities, but spending every summer together. Summer vacation together. The careful balance of the friendship is put to the test when they begin to question what has been obvious to everyone else. Could that actually be the perfect romantic match? Dylan, what do you think of this upcoming Netflix rom-com?
Yeah, double thumbs up. Based on the comic section, it's a very popular book. People seem excited. It looked like a good rom-com, yeah. Or just straight romance, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, no, I enjoyed it. And Jamila Jamil's in it. Yep.
Yes.
10 points.
Yeah, 2 thumbs up for me. It looks really good.
Lucas Gage. Sorry.
Yeah, your boy Lucas Gage. You bring him up any chance you get.
I do.
Glad he's getting work,
Well, he's that classic video where he complained about that director giving him the terrible notes. Every time he gets work now, I'm happy for him.
Yeah, looks really good. Tom Blythe. I don't think I've seen him in anything since the Hunger Games movie, right? Nothing is springing to mind.
I haven't.
So, yeah, he looks really good in this. They look like a very likable enough couple that will inevitably fall in love and ship. Good for them, I guess. There's no way they're not ending up together. They're both too good looking. People We Meet on Vacation is coming to Netflix on the 9th of January. Next trailer is for Sunny Nights, created by Nick Keach and Ty Freer, starring Will Forte, Darcy Carden, Rachel House, Jessica DeGale, Ray Chapman, and Willie Mason. As two siblings attempt to start a new business venture in Sydney, they go to the They go to run a spray and tan business, but when they both stumble into the criminal underworld trying to stay out of prison, staying alive, and keeping their business running. Dylan, what do you think of the trailer for the new show from the creator of Population 11 and
No activity.
other stuff?
Yeah, I'm going double thumbs up. I found it interesting after watching the trailer. I looked in the comments. People are sort of annoyed that Stan keeps doing these series where they bring in big American actors to add something to it. But I mean, obviously they're just trying to appeal also to a international.
They want to sell it to an American audience as well.
Yeah, which I get. So yeah, I think it looked like a lot of fun. So yeah, I'll go double thumbs up. I enjoyed Population 11, yeah, with what's his face from Superstore in that. So that was a good time. Bunch of people in this that we like from other things, Rachel House and who's that at the end where they're like introducing fucking
Willie Mason.
Yeah, a hugely popular.
So he is a former NRL player.
Yeah, even I knew that name though because he'd got in trouble for stuff, hadn't he? Or something?
Yeah, I think he was a bit of a bad boy.
Yeah, that maybe that. Yeah, it's just the funny introducing. I'm like,
I guess probably it may be his first acting role.
It might be his acting, but it's the whole thing of is it introducing if you've been on Australian and New Zealand TVs for sport
for years?
For years, does it count? So, yeah, no, I'm keen.
Great. Sunday Nights is coming to Stan on the 26th of December. Filling that bump hole inside your heart. Next trailer. Mother Mary, directed by David Lowery, starring Anne Hathaway, Michaela Cole, Hunter Schafer, Cheyenne Clifford, FKA Twigs, Athena Frizzle, Kai Gerber, Jessica Brown Finlay, Isura Bar Brown, and Alba Batista. Long buried wounds rise to the surface when iconic pop star Mother Mary reunites with her strange best friend and former costume designer Sam Edelman on the eve of her comeback performance. Dylan, what do you think of the trailer for Mother Mary?
I think your boy's eating well at the moment with some of these films coming out. Double thumbs up, very keen. Totally my sort of vibe. I mean, it's Black Swan-esque type nonsense going on. I don't know, at least that's the vibes I was getting with the pop star sort of thing happening as well. You've got Charlie XCX in it again. Fucking, I'm getting my Charlie feel at the moment.
Is she doing too much?
No, she can never do enough.
I'm just asking because obviously, she's doing a score to Wuthering Heights. She did
a song for this. I don't think she's done the score. She just did a song.
Yeah, she's got her own movie coming out.
She's starring
in other things. She's producing something else.
Yeah.
She's in that Knights of Hero or whatever movie that we talked about the other week, or doing the score for that.
Yeah.
She produced that Overcompensating show.
Yep. She's an icon.
Is she ever making music again?
She's making music all the time. She got a whole album about to come out. I'm about to listen to that whole goddamn Wuthering Heights album and
okay, yeah, that's fair.
The whole thing. I don't know if I posted on Instagram or not, but also the fact that my goddamn Instagram, my Apple Music playlist, top 10 songs still had 5 songs in the top 10 from Brat that came out a year prior. I'm like, I need a new album. What am I doing at this point? Also FKA Twigs also had 2 of the best albums released this year. Shout outs, and also Hunter Schafer's in this. So I am eating well, Girlies are in the films.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 2 thumbs up. Looks fantastic. Really well put together trailer. Anne Hathaway looks fantastic. Believable as a pop star, I guess. More believable. Obviously, we've had these pop star kind of movies. I'm thinking of the Vox Lux.
Smile 2 was
Vox Lux, Smile 2, obviously. Her Smell, those kind of female pop star kind of films. So yeah, this looks like something clearly different. It's cool to see Michaela Cole get another big role. Yeah, looks wild. Also, David Lowery continues to have the wildest swings in his career. Do you know what the last movie he did was?
Some kids one, wasn't it?
Peter Pan and Wendy for Disney.
There we go. Yeah.
Then before that, it was The Green Knight. And before that, it was The Old Man and the Gun. And then before that, Ghost Story. And then before that, Pete's Dragon.
Yeah.
So
does whatever he. It just is
a man
his filmography is a testament to people having, different shades.
Here's the definition of do one for them, one for you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Mother Mary is coming to US cinemas in April. Currently, no Australian release date. Last trailer for this week.
I can't believe I'm going to get to see 3 movies of Charlie.
Ready or Not 2, Here I Come. Directed by Matt Bellerton Alpin and Tyler Gillette, starring Samara Weaving, Catherine Newton, Sarah Michelle Gellar, Sean Hattersley, Nesta Carbonelli, Kevin Durand, Olivia Chang, David Cronenberg, and Elijah Wood. Grace Macaulay, the sole survivor of the brutal game that resulted in the death of her husband and in-laws, spoilers, learns that her victory comes with a price. Now the wealthiest and most influential families on Earth have to kill her in a new game, or risk losing their power and fortunes. Grace refuses to participate, but is left with no choice when she learns that her younger sister Faith has also been marked for death, and must protect her at all costs. Dylan is a big fan of Ready or Not. What did you think of the trailer for Ready or Not 2? Here I come.
3 thumbs up.
The Covenant
right
3
now.
thumbs up.
Yeah. I was already pretty excited for this when they announced it. Obviously, I think Radio Silence, I guess, is their collective known. They're just such fun, exciting voices within the horror wheelhouse at the moment. I've loved everything they've done. They haven't done anything bad. They've not done a bad movie.
Mm-hmm.
And they return Scream, and then now it's going to go to shit again. That's fine, but they return Scream. They do all the things. But I mean, Ready or Not's fantastic, and the fact that they just picked this up, 2 hours later, which is pretty much like wake up in the hospital 2 hours later. I just love it. I think this trailer is so much fun. This is definitely like I know I do want to do like a article like most anticipated movies, but like if I was doing my personal list, like this is on the top 10 easily for next year.
2 thumbs for me. It looks fantastic, and it definitely has me planning to watch Ready or Not before this movie comes out. Obviously, having a general idea of the conceit, I think they do a good job of like showing what they show of the events, and hopefully not give too much away. I did see a lot of people, like some people, upset that they used the money shot in this with Sarah Michelle Gellar in the trailer, where she stakes Samara Weaving, like almost exactly how she would do it on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, or it would be shot on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. But that was so cool and hit nostalgia bones straight away and made me gleeful. But yeah, fantastic cast, looks really good. Samara Weaving, Catherine, the sisters, that makes 100% sense. And like with her within their Radio Silence group makes a ton of sense as well. So
she doesn't do much. So I feel like if you get her, and most of what she's done for a while now has been a lot of TV stuff over the last like 15 years, I feel. So you get Sarah Michelle Gellar to do this movie, I think
she's barely done anything in general.
That's what I mean. She's done. She
was on that Robin Williams show that didn't last very long, and then she kind of disappeared again. And then she was in Do Revenge, and everybody loved her in that. And now she's in this.
Yeah, I think she's very picky of what projects. I think it says something that she's willing to and wants to.
I think that's probably
do this
due to what happened on the set of Buffy and that kind of stuff. Being on a network show like that for several years.
Also, they added so obviously they work with a lot of the same people. So I think it's funny they've added Kevin Durand after Abigail. So this will be the second movie they've done with him and Catherine Newton in a row now.
Absolutely. All right. Ready or Not 2, Here I Come. It's coming to Australian cinemas the 9th of April. All right, let's move into this week's top 3.
Definitely in the top 3.
With Christmas coming up, we desperately want to help you with your Christmas gift giving. So this week's top 3 is top 3 physical media gifts to give a film or TV lover this Christmas. Dylan, what's number 3?
I tried to pick. This was a hard one. I tried to pick a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of a different vibe for different things. So number 3, I'm going to post in links so you can look as I go here. Make sure I have the right stuff here. First one for the horror fans would be this Saw collection, which is a $450 Ultimate Saw, the Ultimate Trakt collection, which you can get via the Man-Made website. It comes in a bear trap, like it's a sort of replica, or meant to be a replica, I guess, of the bear trap signature trap from Saw 2. and then it contains all of the films. So Saw, Saw 2, Saw 3, Saw 4, Saw 5, Saw 6, Saw 3D, the final chapter, Jigsaw, and Spiral from the Book of Saw.
Does it include the most recent one?
I was seeing if you'd pick up on that.
Listen, one of mine has a very similar problem.
Yeah.
Is that my first one is from the distributed by Umbrella Entertainment. Obviously, Dylan has gotten a lot of different things from them. Lots of goodies and that kind of thing. So my first one is their Dogma Collector's Edition.
This is my
4K
number
Blu-ray.
one. This is my number.
Which technically is still on pre-order till the 10th of December. So get in while you can to get that and all the goodies that it comes with. Like,
So it's a $200 collector's edition that comes with a
I only put up the $100 one.
I'm looking at the two. I'm going like when you're not picking you got to go for the full thing.
I didn't even see the $200 one. So
no, the end is 9. It is the $200 the high end collector's edition that comes with a few extra things because the Umbrella usually do like 3 versions of stuff. So it comes with a T-shirt, a beanie, pin collection, 100-page hardback book. With essays and stuff, a custom case, illustrated slipcase, plastic cover, like multiple covers for the custom artwork and stuff for the thing, 8 art cards, A3 reversible poster, and a limited edition numbered release of the film on 4K plus Blu-ray. Yeah, that was my number one.
okay. My number 2, I'll jump to that. Is this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles trilogy box set. Which includes 4K, I believe, versions of all the live action films, including a ton of special features. Like you look at all the bonus commentary tracks or special featurettes and that kind of stuff that are included on each of the discs about each of the films. It's a boatload of stuff, as well as a bunch of like cool cards and collectibles, trading cards and all the like. So if you're a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fan, which everybody should be, you should pick this up. Dylan, what's your number 2?
My number 2 I thought would be a good pick comes from Imprint. It is out in a couple of days. It's out this week actually, December 10th it releases. It is the Kill Bill Volume 1 plus 2 4K limited edition collection, because we don't have the whole bloody affair in cinemas. Fuck that. Pick up this new 4K release.
Do it yourself.
Just do it yourself, minus the slight extra stuff that's included in that cut. But nonetheless, it doesn't matter. So it says the original US theatrical cuts for both films are showcased in 4K, HD, and Dolby Vision and Blu-ray. And it's got all the special features that have been released previously, as well as a full-colored laminate 27 by 40 inch folded reprint of the original poster for Kill Bill Volume 1 and Volume 2. So yeah, and each disc there's no exclusive stuff here, but it does have all the stuff that you want, but it's on 4K. So
okay. My number 1 is admittedly hard to get here in Australia. It is the Wes Anderson box set celebrating 10 films, 25 years of Wes Anderson from the Criterion Collection. 4K remasters of all his films. All his first 10 films in like a really beautiful box set, including deluxe cloth bounds. It includes actual illustrated books. Yeah, all his work from Bottle Rocket all the way to the French Dispatch. So
that I nearly had the Criterion thing in my list, but then it was like I was like, I don't know if I can argue that it's Region A and whatever.
It's a tough ask. I think it is Region 3. No, Region 0. I don't know. It's saying on this iMusic site.
Says it usually means everything.
Yeah, so, there you go. Everywhere. But also $600.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess. That's American pricing, I guess.
Yeah, it's a bit of an ask. So, but also, it doesn't have his latest film as part of the collection as well.
Yeah, where's it stop? Oh, French Dispatch. Yeah.
Yeah. Dylan, this week, what do you want to watch?
Fuck, I forgot to look. Of course I did. Why the hell? Why do I do this show? Never remember. Is anything even out this week?
Good question.
That's the fucking one. Okay, here we go. I would like to watch, even though It's not in my fucking cinema because I've already looked yesterday and I forgot. Silent Night, Deadly Night's out this week. The reimagining of that film, which I talked about last week, having watched the original for the first time. So that would be my film pick. And as far as television goes, I mean that looks funny, but I don't know if I could pick that. What the fuck is Luc Besson doing a Dracula? What?
Christoph Waltz, apparently.
Okay, sure. I got nothing. Do I? No. Yeah, that's not until next week. That doesn't count for this week. I don't know. Man vs. Baby. No, is that a movie or a TV show?
That's a TV show.
All right, sure. That then.
I don't know if you know this, but there's a sequel series to Man vs. Bee.
What?
There's a series called Man vs. Bee that Rowan Atkinson did. Now it's Man vs. Baby. The conceit being that each time he is house sitting somewhere, and each of these bee and a baby cause havoc in his ability to fulfill that job. For me this week, because I missed it at cinemas, Wake Up Dead Man coming to Netflix. That'll be definitely something I'll be watching this week. But on the TV front, Percy Jackson and the Olympians returns for a second season. A really good, YA fantasy show that I'm keen to see how they adapt that second book. So definitely keen for that. All right. Let us know what you want to watch this week by letting us know on social media by going to explosionnetwork.com/follow. If you want to help us out here at What Do You Want to Watch, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or on Podchaser. Leave us 5 stars and you can leave 5 stars or just tell people about the show. And if you want to help us out at Explosion Network with all our podcasts and other content, head on over to explosionnetwork.com/support. Thank you very much for listening. Until next time, keep watching stuff, I guess.
I know for some reason, as soon as you said Percy Jackson, I just, in my head, I'm like, on this day, I see clearly. Oh, Edge is still in the show, right?
Yes, yeah, he's still.